Have you ever seen photos of a Japanese festival or Matsuri? I mean, they look absolutely incredible, right? They're just bursting with energy and color, and they're such a huge part of the culture. But let's be honest, they can also seem a little unapproachable if you're on the outside looking in. So today, we're going to unpack what they're all about.
You see an image like this, the incredible procession, the traditional clothes, just the pure energy of the crowd, and it's a breathtaking spectacle. But it's so steeped in tradition that it can definitely leave you wondering, where do I fit into all this?
And that feeling leads to a really common and very thoughtful question. This one was posted on Reddit by a traveler who is hoping to visit a small local shrine festival, and it's a question that gets right to the heart of what it means to experience another culture respectfully.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to use that visitor's question as our launch pad. From there, we'll unpack the whole spiritual and social meaning of Matsuri, get into the nitty-gritty of etiquette, and then look at the very real challenges these traditions are facing today. And finally, we'll explore why they're still so vital. So let's just tackle that big question head-on. Are visitors actually welcome at these events that are often so local and community-focused? Well, the online community of experienced travelers and residents had a pretty clear answer.
And the answer was a big, resounding yes. Basically, if a festival is publicly advertised, you're welcome to be there. The main thing to know is that festivals can be totally different. Some are super calm and kid-friendly, others are pretty rowdy celebrations with a lot of drinking. The best advice from one user was perfect. Just show up, take a beat to see what the locals are doing, and then follow their lead. It's all about respectful participation, not just being a spectator.
But to really, truly appreciate a Matsuri, we need to go beyond just the how of attending and really get into the why. Why do these festivals even exist? Well, the answer is deeply rooted in Japan's spiritual landscape.
The word Matsuri itself is tied to the Shinto deities, or kami. And you have to understand, these kami aren't some distant gods up in the clouds. They are spirits found right here in nature, in mountains, in waterfalls, and ancient trees. So the festival is this special time to honor them, to make offerings, and hopefully receive their blessings.
And to understand the festival's role in society, we need to talk about a core cultural concept, the rhythm between hare and ki. This is basically a framework that organizes Japanese life into two very distinct modes.
So, kei, that's your everyday life. It's the routine, the mundane, the daily grind. Hare, on the other hand, is the extraordinary, the sacred, the break from all of that. And festivals? They are the ultimate hare moment. They're this designated time to step out of the ordinary, to recharge the community's spiritual batteries, and to strengthen the bonds with both your neighbors and the local kami before you have to go back to the everyday.
Okay, so let's shift gears from that cultural framework to the vibrant, real-world experience of actually being at a Matsuri. What are you going to see, and how should you act?
Big festivals can be huge, intricate operations. I mean, just look at this map from the Sano Festival in Tokyo. This shows the parade route for just one part of the whole celebration. And the centerpiece of these incredible processions is often the mikoshi.
Think of a mikoshi as basically a divine limousine. Seriously, it's a portable shrine that houses the local kami, and it allows the deity to be carried out of the main shrine building and through the streets of the community. This whole act is believed to purify the area and shower blessings on all the residents and businesses along the route.
So how do you navigate all this respectfully? It really boils down to a few key things. First, like we heard earlier, just watch and follow the local vibe. Second, be super mindful of your space. These events get packed, and the processions need a clear path. When it comes to taking photos, just be cool about it. Avoid getting a camera right up in participants' faces. And here's a fantastic, really practical tip from that Reddit discussion. If you make a donation at the shrine, try using bigger coins like 100 or 500 yen. Apparently, banks have started charging handling fees for big bags of small coins, so your thoughtful donation could actually end up costing the shrine money if it's all in 1 and 5 yen coins. How wild is that?
But while we're talking about how to participate, it is absolutely crucial to understand that these traditions are not frozen in time. In fact, a lot of Matsuri are at a serious crossroads, facing some immense pressures from the modern world.
On the one hand, you've got these massive world-famous festivals like Kyoto's Gion Matsuri. As this graph shows, attendance has just exploded over the last 70 years. I mean, it's turned into a major global tourist attraction, which, of course, brings in a lot of money and visibility.
And if you're wondering how an event this huge stays afloat, well, this funding breakdown tells the whole story. For a major festival like Gion Matsuri, a whopping 40% of its funding comes from corporate sponsorships. That's way more than government support or ticket sales. And while this financial engine keeps the festival huge and impressive, it definitely hints at a big shift in its character, moving it more towards a commercial spectacle.
Now, this story of commercial success and booming crowds is powerful, for sure. But it's not even close to the reality for the vast majority of Japan's estimated 300,000 local festivals.
For smaller, often rural communities, the story is the complete opposite. As Miyata Nobuya from the preservation group Matsuri Engine puts it, these local festivals are facing a very real threat of just disappearing.
The reasons why are complicated, and they're tied to some of Japan's biggest social challenges. Rural areas are seeing massive depopulation, which means there's a critical shortage of young people to, carry the incredibly heavy makoshi, or to learn the intricate music, or to take over leadership from their elders. There's a real fear that the burden of these traditions will fall on a generation that's just too small to carry it. This isn't just about losing a party. It's about a community losing the very people it needs to hold itself together.
So if these smaller festivals are struggling so much, why is it so important to preserve them? What's their real core value, beyond just being a fun party or a tourist attraction?
Well, the real power of a Matsuri isn't just about the one day of celebration. It's about what that one day inspires for the other 364 days of the year. It creates what proponents call a virtuous cycle for the community.
And this is the crucial point right here. The festival itself is just the peak. The real work is happening all year long. It's the community cleanup days at the shrine, the weekly taiko drumming practice, the neighborhood planning meetings. All that constant collaboration builds incredibly strong, resilient communities. As you can see, it connects generations, it fosters leadership, and it strengthens the bonds between neighbors. And those are the bonds that really matter when a typhoon hits or an elderly neighbor needs help. The Matsuri isn't just an event, it's the engine that powers the entire community's social fabric.
And this really gets to the heart of the challenge, doesn't it? The spectacle is what draws the crowds and the sponsors, but it's that deep-rooted community spirit that gives these festivals their true, enduring meaning. So it leaves us with a final question to think about. As visitors and observers, how can we support and participate in a way that honors not just the incredible performance, but the profound community connection that's really at its heart?